Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year's Eve or New Year's, depending on what part of the world you're watching this in. It's so great to see you. Apollo and I just wanted to spend a little bit of time with you as we step into this new year to set some intentions and also to kind of take a quick look and see what kind of energy is coming through. And I was thinking about what we could do for this reading. And I'd like to start off, of course, I actually got a lot of channeled messages. This was part of what kind of inspired me today to show up and do this. So there's some channeled messages that came through. And then I'd like to do a full Celtic Cross just to see where we're at and where we're headed. And maybe like 12 cards, one for each of the months of the new year. And then if there's time or interest, I set a goal, we can maybe just allow for whatever needs to come through at the end. So without any further delay, let's actually get into the channeled messages for today. And by the way, one of the reasons we are showing up is this is a magical liminal space between today and tomorrow to make sure that we do put those intentions in. And it is important to sort of set a goal. So take some time, 5 minutes. You owe it to yourself, even if you're working or even if you're running errands. Like, make some time for yourself today. That's one thing that I'd like to start with. Now, in my dreams, it was very interesting. It kind of reminded me of, like when I was a kid, E.T. was a big thing, and that is an ancient movie right now, but there was something very cool about that at the time. Like there were a series of shows around kind of the awakening that maybe we're not alone or there's something more to the world. So there was like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. I'm trying to think, there's at least one more, even Cocoon on some levels, just this idea of something bigger. And so I kept having this energy of something extraordinary or ET based, kind of like an alien kind of energy. And it reminded me of the sort of like wonderment that we have as a little kid, the ability to sort of think about something being beyond. So I like the extra piece of the extraterrestrial, beyond this earth, beyond our dreams. And it's very much world energy, thinking beyond what has been trained, what has been projected or kind of traced around us by society, by even ourselves. And that was message number one, is go extraterrestrial, go extra, go beyond. And also I got this feeling of awe and inspiration. We really need it. This year was not extra. It was the opposite of that. There was probably a lot of tumults and disappointments and contracting energy. And so in order to break through that in your own life, especially when you're setting your own goals, you want to open yourself up for something better. I think we can all get behind that, this or something better, or at the very least, just a better year. So we're going to set the expectation that it's okay to want that. It's probable that it can happen because we can only go up. And I think this is a good place to start. I was surprised, like it was so vivid in my dream. I saw two of these gigantic, and when I say gigantic, it was something like out of Labyrinth or some animated series, but like these really big caterpillars. They looked artificial to me. And I could only imagine what kind of butterfly, moth, or winged creature that they would grow into. So 2, I counted them in my dreams, 2. And there was someone that was trying to like capture them or spray pesticide. I'm like, no. Like we need to let those grow. So there might be someone that's coming through that's trying to kind of like spray that pesticide on your dream or try to like not allow something to develop. It could even be your own inner saboteur, like a 5 of Swords moment. And I see at least 2 beautiful things on the horizon, but they're not fully shaped yet. And when you lack the sort of like feedback or visual like representation of it in your life right now, then you start to doubt. So it takes time. When we look at the cards, both like this pulse of the Celtic Cross and then the more tactical 12-month layout, I'll try to see where those might blossom into something more. Also, there's the idea of the early bird gets the worm. So it's important for you to take action in January. And if there's something that you want, like if you don't do it, someone else is going to step foot into that first. It's not a threat. It's just more of an encouragement. Like, don't delay, don't wait. And then the other thing that I saw was you are supported. So I saw a guide, like for me, whenever I see a car and someone in the car with you or with me, it represents guidance. And that's what I saw for the collective, was sort of this car with a protector or someone waiting to take you to the next step. So you do have a guide with you. And that's why today, we'll do it in the meditation, but also after this very special reading, I'd love for you to imagine that whoever it is that was a protector in your life, maybe it's like a relative that's passed into spirit, grandparent, aunt, uncle, parent, whatever. Imagine that they're behind the wheel and they're ready to help you get to whatever your destination is. And that's a way that you can feel protected and directed in this 2026. I'm like, what year are we going into this 2026 year ahead of us? So that's pretty much everything. It's beautiful messages. Again, think bigger. It wasn't like scary alien. It was like the awe and wonder that you would see in the little kid's face when they met something that was beyond their dreams. So get into the childlike energy of the sun, the Six of Cups, and allow your heart to sort of be surprised. Because you deserve it. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be surprised. You deserve something better than this year, which we still can give gratitude for because it provided context, shows us perhaps what we didn't want, what we didn't need. But it's time for an upgrade, folks. Okay? Let's begin. By the way, before we get into this, if you haven't already subscribed, this is a perfect example of why to subscribe. You'll get notifications. You can make sure that you hit the bell and choose all notifications, not just some, and that will help you. And you can also give me a follow on social media. All of these are listed on my website. And I'll remind you to sign up for my newsletter later, but I'd like to just get into the reading. I also have 5 memberships that I will gift, and I'll do that between the Celtic Cross and the 12-month forecast. We're not expanding this. We're just going to do a Celtic Cross because I'm going to look at 12 months. This is just a very special type of reading. So again, glad that you're all here today. And if you'd like me to do a little bit extra, you can help me meet the goal by hitting that target button, and I think any type of contribution will help. Okay, let's get started. Close your eyes, please. Let go of any sort of preconceived notions that you might have coming into this reading. And I need to turn my air conditioning up a little bit, and then we're going to get started. As I mentioned, you are protected, you are guided. So let's welcome in angels, spirit guides, ascended masters. And for some of you, this could also be a relative or someone in your family that is in spirit that could help you out. Okay, so we're going to look at the current energy right now. What is it that might be holding you back? What can help you get to the next level? And then we will look at each month in a single card. Okay, very special reading for today. There is no special topic in this. It's whatever I need to see come through and help you get past. I mean, the special topic is thriving. How can we thrive in the year ahead? Also, maybe helping you see things that you don't want to see but need to see, all of the above. All right. I still want to get a catalyst. Let me just pull all of these over here so you can see them without any blocks. And if I haven't already said so, Happy New Year's again. I did at the beginning, but for those who just joined. Okay, let's begin with a catalyst message. I mean, this easier said than done. We have Spirit Guardian of Autumn, and the message here is letting go, very much in the energy of 4 of Swords, 6 of Swords, Death, and Judgment, since those are all cards related with transforming and releasing. This is reversed, and it's very much like the, it's appropriate that the Hanged Man is called the Upside Down today because, what is it, Stranger Things has its finale. But it's hard to let things go. Hang with it for a second. Maybe today's reading is what you need to be able to see what else is out there. So I get the sense of wanting to cling on. So I will try to help you get the perspective so you don't have to hold on to things that don't serve or suit you anymore. Okay. The center of the card. Love, forgiveness. Forgiveness is what comes through the loudest and clear. Loving yourself, forgiving yourself, and moving on. I feel like many of you might be protecting your heart space because of disappointment, because of rejection, because of fear of these things. And the number one thing that I get from spirit and guidance in general is just like, it's okay now. Like this is a different you and a different year. Maybe if I were to title this, that's what it is. A different you, a different year. Or different year, whatever works. And this was just a contextual thing you had to go through. You had to get your heart broken so that you would understand what you didn't want, so that you would understand that that person, place, or thing wasn't ready for you or wasn't enough for you. And now you can open yourself up for what? All of this or greater, for something extraordinary. Not just extraterrestrial, but extraordinary. If you really take apart the word, it's beyond ordinary. So a little bit of healing in the heart space in particular. You can work on this. You can talk to someone else about this, and know that it's okay. It's okay to move on. Four of Cups. The universe is filled with surprises, and often what we expect isn't what it wants to bring through. Let's look at the traditional card while we're talking. I like to look at the Four of Cups as a blessing in disguise, but it's blocked by distraction and preconceived notions and disbelief. So what does that mean? It means that you can actually project this feeling of, I can't have that. I'm not ready. I'm not worthy. I'm not beautiful. All of those things which aren't true. So we're going to undo all of those thoughts because the universe is saying, well, okay, maybe these things aren't showing up, but look at this. So here it is. There's literally, so we have like these three cups in the foreground, and that's what the person's focusing on. If we take that ace that's floating by his head out, that's where his line of sight is in the traditional card. But then Spirit's saying, hey, over here, focus on this. Distraction, disguise, blessing in disguise. Ace of Cups is invariably good, but he can't see it. So there's a silver lining that blocked heart space, the Three of Swords, is preventing you from seeing. So I'm going to try to help you see your Four of Cups, that floating ace, whatever it might be for you. Sometimes this comes, like you can think of it as rebound energy. If you got through a bad breakup, if you got fired, if someone didn't choose you for, whatever, their team or their party invitation, whatever, some form of rejection. And it's like, why didn't this happen? Because the universe could see that wasn't a match. And sometimes to help, you have to hurt a little bit so that you can redirect. And rejection is a form of guidance and protection. It is not my favorite. And one of the things that we can release in our New Year's resolution is pain as a teacher. I don't need pain and I don't need rejection because I'm going to see it with all three eyes, not just what's in front of me. That's why the two caterpillars were there. There are things that are coming through that haven't yet fully manifested. And if you continue to expect it to be here or it's not going to happen, that sort of skeptical, black and white energy won't help you get to the hidden ace that's in this card, okay? So to translate it, have a little faith, have a little hope, entertain the possibility. Because if you can't entertain the possibility, then it stops before it even starts. I got to clean my glasses, hold on. And just like I'm doing with my glasses, you might have to clear away some of the residue that's existing from the past year. Some of this feeling of, well, this isn't happening. We just have to clear the slate because it's a new year. So it's appropriate that I have to clean it. That's better. Because it was a little blurry, a little foggy. All right. Lo and behold, Temperance in this deck is possibility. She's putting one foot in the water. She's taking one bite out of the apple. She's putting one foot on the land. What's possible? Maybe it's possible. Give it a shot. I connect this with the energy of April because it's in the Northern Hemisphere, kind of spring-like. We have the irises, the fleur-de-lis in the background. So one of the developing blessings could be about 3 to 4 months away. And you have to think it's possible. At least think, well, who knows? Maybe this could happen. Lean into the maybe, folks. If you can't think it's absolute, just what if? What if or maybe? Get that. Get that into your energy system and something cool could happen, okay? I'll give you an interesting example. And I have a friend that's a shaman that kind of set this up for me, but something related to my career too. But we were talking about something where I was blocked, and he said, I just have a feeling that you're going to bump into the right person. And who knows how it could happen? Maybe they talk to your dog. Maybe you're just at the coffee, or you're going to the grocery store. Something where you're not even thinking about it. And it was exactly as he described. And then oddly enough, for those of you that know, like I wrote a book a while back, but one of the characters in the book spoke Swedish, and I bumped into somebody who was from Sweden, and I was able to like say hello and ask a couple. Like it probably shocked them because there's this misperception that a lot of Americans don't speak foreign languages. We do, not everybody, but like I was like, oh yeah, I studied this because I was. Anyway, they were in a related industry, and the language was the icebreaker. The connection was unexpected, and then there was some advice that came through. It was just a casual conversation, but I was like, look at how many synchronicities happened. I studied a language that I thought I'd only use in a book. I did something that was also related to their industry, and all of this helped bring a piece of advice that I needed in this moment in time. A series of things that seemed like they were throwaways or blocks added up to the perfect meeting. So you never know when you're going to have all of these things align. Just trust, have faith. And I called my friend. It was like literally the day after we had the conversation. I was like, you were right. He's like, I know. You need to listen to me. Sometimes we all get blocked and we are afraid of. So that's also when I got into this idea that rather than saying, I want this, I am this. So if you want love, say that you are love. I am love. If you want abundance, say that you are abundance. Not that you're looking for it, not that you're ready for it. Just say that you're already in the energy of it. And that's what I kind of started to practice doing. And literally one day later, that synchronicity came forth. So step into the being, and then the things that you're trying to connect will just naturally happen. I need to get some cleaner for this, but let me just try one more time. Just like you, I'm trying to clear away all the gunk, right? So here we have that Ace of Cups, and it's so appropriate that I told you there's a floating ace right here, right? And here's your ace. She can't see it, but it's right here. And it's actually something that's already in your energy space because this is recent past. You need to take a moment to drink it in. I love the hummingbird. It always comes through in my life when maybe I'm feeling a little bit low or a little doubting. And a hummingbird comes through because it's one of the fastest moving totems and birds. And it's high frequency. The wings vibrate with such, you can hear it. It's like this little, purring engine. Sometimes like it will literally, a hummingbird, if I'm walking the dog or just out and about, it'll kind of cross my path and stare at me and then dart off. And I'm like, message received. I need to raise my frequency. If you raise your frequency, things can come in a little bit better because you have to be receptive. The cups are like satellites, and in order to fill it up, it has to be upright. And some of you might have that cup this way, reversed. So you have to at least think, maybe this is possible. By the way, it's worth noting, and this is why I like to go back and forth between traditional cards and modern cards. Temperance has cups on it, 2 cups to be exact, and it's balancing things out. So you have to do that little bit of calibration here. Okay, where am I at? How do I feel? What's going on? Am I getting enough? Then you can dip your foot in there. Then you can get ready to take one of those cups and go for it. Also, 2 cups, support, friendship, love. You don't have to do this alone. There could be love, friendship, opportunity, or ideas flowing through you, but you need to open the door and say, okay, where is this taking me? What's possible? Just keep an open mind to kind of like fully bring it into layman's terms. Just keep an open heart and open mind, okay? By the way, we already met the goal. Thank you guys so much. And we'll do more if there's more interest. All right, let me just keep going through this. In the crowning position, we have 10 of Pentacles. This is good. This is very good because it is reversed, and we'll talk about that. But I know a lot of us right now are struggling for, there's so many things that the 10 of Pentacles can feel like. It can be a feeling of family, as we see on this card. It can be money. It can be employment. It can be stability. I think these are universal needs and wants. And this comprises the cornucopia of all of these. So wherever you're sitting in your 10 of Pentacles, this card is saying it's starting, it's recalibrating, it's there, it's within reach. One thing that you want to do with 10 of Pentacles energy is this can also feel like pressure to succeed. When you worry too much about delivering what's expected, sometimes you don't deliver what's authentic or what's right. And I can think of examples. A lot of times this happens with music, television, and books. since we're all familiar with that. Something is successful, and then they just try to repeat and rebrand it. We are in the age of sequels to the point that you don't care anymore. Like, how many times can you repeat that? Let's just try something new. If it was good, put that out there. It's beautiful. Like, then maybe get inspired by that, but do something slightly different in the same realm, but not the same thing again and again ad nauseum. So you've got to kind of find your own special sauce that is unique to you, because the world right now is a little bit bland with homogeny, the same old, same old. It's like if you have oatmeal every day with nothing on it. You'll look at it one day and you're like, I can't even put it in my mouth. You need to sprinkle some, not flaxseed, that doesn't make it more interesting. Put some blueberries, some strawberries, some oat milk, like dress it up a little bit or do something different, like make something unique, because otherwise it is just like the same old, same old. So I'm getting that sense of a leaning into your uniqueness and not giving into the pressure that might be present with this like elder that we see here. What worked for them won't necessarily work for you, okay? Knight of Swords, near future, reversed. Slow down. What's the rush? Especially if you're rushing to milestones. And we have the Hanged Man in reverse, so there's something that requires a little bit of attention and resolution, probably the heart space and the healing. But the Knight of Swords is typically the fastest moving card in the Minor Arcana. You would normally see him charging forth. We don't need to look at it. You just trust me on that. But when the Knight of Swords slows down, they're slowing down 2 or 3 things. One, how quickly they're moving so that they can make sure that they're tracking to the goal, whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. Slowing down how quickly they're talking to make sure that they're listening, digesting, and understanding what's in front of them. And they're giving themselves room to make a course correction. Because if you're lost and you keep moving faster, you just get more lost. If you've ever been in the car with someone who won't ask for directions and keeps driving, it just gets worse. You've got to stop. Nowadays we have our phones, but when I was a kid, there wasn't the GPS. You had to get out maps or go to a gas station or ask for help. And I remember one time that I was lost and just kept driving, hoping that I would get unlost, and I found myself in another state. And I was like, okay, that wasn't effective. I should have stopped. So this was on the East Coast where the states are closer together. But you need to stop and just tune in. I really feel like that's the bulk of this. Am I where I need to be? Does it feel right for me? What I'm saying, doing, and traveling towards, is it still authentic? And if it is, great. And if it isn't, now you can course correct before you end up completely in a different space that you didn't even think you would be. And this is what happens to people sometimes, where they wake up on a certain birthday or a certain milestone and it's anticlimactic and there might be regret. We're getting way ahead of this so that you don't have to be there. You can feel like as you get to those milestones, yeah, I'm exactly where I want to be. Okay? So this is the wake up call way before the alarm actually happens. Way before a tower event happens. Okay? King of Cups in reverse. This is why the Ace of Cups may be hard for some of you. It's important to take a moment to breathe. It's important to take a moment to let go of some stuff and have a good laugh, have a good cry, whatever it is that you need right now. This is a very sensitive and creative card, and a lot of times it takes on too much because it's a natural healer, King of Cups energy. Those of you that are Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces also just may have a great capacity to bring people into your heart and nurture. And so nurture yourself a little bit. Whenever we have a King or Queen reverse representing you in the self position, just like this one, it's saying, please, please, please take care of yourself too. It's not like you have to stop taking care of everyone else, but I'm going to alter it. Take care of yourself first and also, and then take care of others. You have to refuel, refill, repair yourself, your battery, your consciousness. Otherwise, it becomes strained. And then it can become resentful. And then it becomes also ineffective or angry. So we don't want that. I'd much rather you take a day for yourself, okay? You matter, and I'm giving you permission. it's not a good word, but to be selfish, to take care of yourself right now, because there's a lot of other people that are taking care of themselves. So we're doing it specifically for New Year's. So if you don't want to go to a party, say no. If you said yes and you're tired or the weather's bad, just let someone know, you know what, I'm really not feeling well today. We might have to redo it. You can say no. Do what you need to do tonight. If you don't want to hang out until midnight, go at 10 o'clock. You know, like, do what's best for you today, because this sets the tone for the year ahead. If there's any day that you can be focused on self-care, it would be New Year's Eve. You want to start, and this is also a reason not to get completely drunk, because you don't want the next and the first day of the new year to be one that is hungover. Have a drink, have a sip, have a toast, or just enjoy someone's company without the intoxication. Because toxic, like, we don't always think about that. Just enjoy. And then as you go into the new year, you're going to do so on a clean slate with a clean head and a clear heart. Okay? I'm not, sort of saying you can't have fun, just everything in moderation. Four of Swords. I mentioned 4 different cards that could represent release. And the Four of Swords is one of them. I do love this one. We're going to look at the traditional in a moment. This one focuses only on one element of it, which is rest. For those of you and that's why I'm like, I don't need to stay up until 1 a.m, and I don't need to be out and have to be worrying about driving. There comes a point in your life where I've been there, I've done that. So for those of you that are like me that just want to rest, I'll be in bed at midnight. Maybe I'll be watching something on my iPad, but like, I don't need to watch a ball fall down and the second hand turn. I can say my hello to the new year at 9 o'clock if I want to. So whenever you want to celebrate the new year, do that in your own way and get some rest tonight. And before you go to bed tonight, set your intentions, at least an intention, whatever it would be, even if it's just, I'm open to being surprised at what's possible in the new year. All right. This tells the story a little bit better, though. We see the 3 swords, and you had the 3 of swords above the person, and in sleep, they get an ace. They get the ace to wake up with. This is also why I don't want you overly intoxicated the next day, so you can take the ideas, you can take the energy, and you can forge forward with that ace. That's what rest gives you. This is a sepulcher, or like a coffin, and it represents also putting a cap on this year and putting it to rest, which is very appropriate for New Year's. It's an end and a beginning. January, Janus, is a god with a posterior and an anterior head. It can see the future and the past, and it's the liminal space between. That's where we're at today. This reading is probably second only to Halloween and Day of the Dead as a very important, liminal, powerful place to set an intention and to change the sort of direction of your future. So don't leave today behind without at least thinking about what you're trying to bring into the new year, okay? We have Wisdom, which is the Hierophant, which is reversed, which also says that you're leaning into your own ability to know where to create structure and then also break the rules. Know the rules, know when to break the rules. With the card in reversed, one thing that could be lacking could be a plan. And so you don't have to have everything figured out, just maybe a couple of top level goals for the year ahead. And it's interesting, all of the sort of familial and parental energy that keeps coming through, elder wisdom that keeps coming through on this. Take what you need, leave what you don't. In my dreams, I saw my parents too coming through. So I feel like there's a happy place between all of this. And then this is something that it makes sense now. But always when I'm ready to, I used to text my mom, I pull out the phone. I can never find my phone or I can never find her number because she's in spirit. And she's always there. I don't need the phone anymore. She doesn't need the phone either. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, oh, I wish I could call. But I got the call in dreams. But one thing that's interesting being without parents is I just have to keep figuring it out on my own. And some decisions are good, some decisions could be better, but there is this sort of confidence that comes with the fact that I'm able to figure it out no matter what and brush myself off and keep going. And it's about that. Learning, adapting, and continuing. You don't have to be perfect. Perfection, none of us would be here. We would be in spirit if we were already ascended to the highest level. And any guru on this channel, on this network, on this world that says that they know everything, they don't. We're all figuring it out together, and that's why we keep showing up and doing this. Okay, the upside down, again, kind of appropriate for the fact that there's a finale with Stranger Things. But this is the Hanged Man or the Hanged One, and with the card in reverse, one, don't rush something. Take a moment to pause. Literally, that's what today is about, is reflection and then projection. What I do like is this is kind of like a jungle gym where the kid's hanging upside down and having fun. If you can be playful in any sort of necessary pause that's coming into your life, it's a lot more palatable. It's a lot less pressure for you. And things can kind of get... You can see yourself as a co-creator and not being beholden to what's kind of being projected into your life. So have fun, take it a moment at a time, and there might be something that needs your attention, okay? Let's get a little bit more clear on what this year ahead is going to offer. I'm going to do a month-by-month breakdown. Before I do that, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. I'm going to take a moment here. I realized I had some additional memberships that I can gift, so... here we go. The last 5 that I can gift of the year. Anyone else can keep doing that after I've done that, but welcome to the family here. All right. I'm going to use Lightseer's deck because it's really easy to interpret. Let me see. Maybe I'll do 3 4s. Okay, I think that'll work. Okay. Although it's easier for me to do it 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, I'm going to do it that way. I just have to figure out how I'm going to organize this, so give me a second. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Okay, let's get these neatly arranged so I can more easily recognize the quarters of the year. And I'm finishing up the rest of the monthlies. I'll be working today. Probably get 2 more done today and the rest of them by the end of this week. So thank you for your patience. Okay, there we go. You can see everything. All right, so let's focus here on this first quarter of the year. This is a general reading. You can get more specific versions of this as I roll them out this week. I'm about halfway there. All right, we'll start off with January. The Moon. It kind of feels like an appropriate card for this upcoming January because it's been an interesting previous year. So we're bringing some baggage into January that we need to release. Fear, anxiety, even comparison from this time last year to this time this year. So let it go. And also put out into the world, if we collectively believe it, we can collectively shift it, that it's different now and we're smarter now and we're stronger now and maybe we all went through some stuff, but we learned from it. There's a path between the wolf and the dog that is where our focus should be, right underneath the moon. We can get distracted with this. In this particular deck, the emotions and the depth of emotions, that's the primary focus. And I do feel like that's where we can either sink or swim. Let's imagine that we're waking up and swimming. I'll pull the original one while we're talking too. But what can also step in the moon energy of January for some of us is this feeling of competition. And then also like being confined or having to sort of like, there's a better word, but having to sort of conform, that's it, to pre-existing norms. So you get to walk your own path and be your own person. Between what's expected and what you know you already need to do. It's a zigzaggy road, just like you see here. So there was almost too much of a focus on this card on the water and what's beneath it, and we're missing all the elements on this card. So there's a path. These two are distracting you. This is distracting you. You walk the path, sometimes alone, but towards the path of illumination. Don't lose track of your goal. Don't give in to emotions. Don't give in to competition. And don't discount your intuition. These are the potential blocks that could come forth in January. Do listen to yourself. Do persevere. Do get into the sort of creative energy that's part of the divine feminine that is the moon. And make time for things like meditation and creativity. All of that is comprised within this card, okay? And we see that you're not there yet, but you will be soon. January is a time where you have to keep the faith. And you could even just tell the universe, I'm open to being surprised. Maybe it'll just happen sooner than I think, but I'm going to stop focusing on the when and lean into the how and the why. Because when I'm doing the right thing and when I'm doing it consistently, it'll happen faster. There's too much of a focus on the finish line here. Just keep walking the path. And that's like the single best piece of advice that can come through for January. But the moon is manageable. Be honest and be someone of integrity, because that is one thing that the moon can sometimes represent a lack of, okay? All right. Here we go. Going into February, the Knight of Wands. So march to the beat of your own drums. And this is what I feel like we've been setting this up time and again. It's okay sometimes to be in, like, when you're doing the right thing, when you're leading, sometimes you are all alone and you're kind of leading the pack. And I feel like that's part of this because there is a pack mentality to this with the wolf and the dog. And so you're leading the pack in February. I love this version because she's in the circle of the Four of Wands. So friendship, partnership, camaraderie. She's not alone. That wild horse in the background could be one of the helpers in her life. But she isn't riding the horse. She's taking a moment to tune in, very shamanic because she's beating the drum, and she's getting into the flow, into the rhythm, so that when she moves forward, it is with intention. It is with this connection to source. So I feel like January, you're kind of like getting rid of all of the emotions, processing all of that. Now you're setting up a cadence and a rhythm in February, putting a schedule together, possibly working with the help of someone else, a trainer, a mentor, a friend, to help you stay consistent could be very advantageous. If you're looking for love, partnership, or stability, February is when it starts to get cemented in. It's a good month. It's a good card. There could also be a fire sign entering into your life. Now we're back into having to take a step back. March. This could be more, I'm getting it's environmental, honestly, but if there is anything in your life that is creating stress, distraction, or fear, all things that are part of this particular card, then obviously that's going to be priority one, is dealing with those and caring for yourself. If there's something around you in the world that is stressful, you have to kind of like rise above and release it and say, I can't control that, but I can control how I feel, what I do, and how much mental real estate I give that. And I think that's where the power is here, is in not putting too much of a focus or an investment into fear, anxiety, stress, etc. And sometimes we need assistance in order to have the tools to cope with that. Sometimes it's right in front of you and you're like, that person is bad news. This environment is toxic. This job doesn't provide. Whatever it is that's obvious, take care of that. If there's something subtle or out of your realm of comfort, get the help that you need. Get some rest too, because like I mentioned here a few moments ago with the Four of Swords, this is insomnia and this is rest and recalibration. And when you rest, you get that magic ace that helps you deal with whatever has been sort of like challenging you, okay? So an environmental potential hiccup here. So we have a rhythm that's set up and we have some emotions that could try to take you out of that rhythm, but overall, this is creativity, this is stability, and this is an environmental stress that you're not going to let take you out of your sort of like path, because the next three cards get exciting. All right, so January, February, March. Now we're going on to April. I mentioned when I saw Temperance that April looked like an exciting month, and indeed it does. This is fruitful. Literally, she's picking the fruits of her labor in this card. Missing from this card is, I keep looking, but it's not here. There should be a little tiny snail. It takes time to get here, and that's why you can't lose patience, and that's why sometimes there's no immediate gratification. If you're dealing with financial challenges or toils, what we see here in April is a pivot, an opening, a breakthrough. So maybe not immediately in the new year, but right on the like right between Q1 and Q2, right between March and April, a turn for the better, okay? This card is fiercely independent, and when it's reversed, it's saying, all right, I've proven I can do X, Y, or Z on my own, but what if I lean on the support of someone else? What if I partner up? We had the partnership energy hidden between the 4 wands on this card, so there might be someone that you can trust that can help you out. So you don't have to do it all on your own. You're very close to completion. Don't rush something before it's complete, and have some fun. When you get to that point where you can afford to take a break or take a rest, please do so. So April is another encouragement to drink it in, to take a break, to recalibrate. In May, if you haven't already done it, the universe may make you do it. We have a necessary pause. This doesn't have to be negative. It could just mean, let's say you've worked through a lot, and then this can just be a plateau. Kind of like it looks like a flat line, but it's just a moment to catch your breath. So we're in May right now. January, February, March, April, May. Yes, May. So in May, it's important to take time for yourself, reflect, plan. If there are any delays, then ask yourself, why did it happen and what can I do with this extra time? And know that the time won't be forever, because the next card is amazing. It's the Star. What I like about this is we can see the enlightenment that comes from slowing down. Honestly, at the end of the day, the Hanged Man could just be slow it down a little bit. Cut out some of the stuff in your routine, in your extracurricular schedule. Less is more, because you can focus and be more impactful with it, okay? Okay, so we're going to move from May to June. June looks like the highlight of this particular spread so far. We have the Star card, something wonderful. This is where one of those butterfly moments happens for sure. I think it's one of the clearest ones, actually. So the Star card. The only thing that's happening here is doubt. When the Star is reversed, she's wondering, do I deserve this? Is this real? When will the other shoe drop? Is it going to go south? Don't do that. In June, instead, say, I worked hard to get here. Maybe I wish it could have happened faster, but I'm happy it happened when it happened because I appreciate it. And sometimes that's why delays are necessary. It provides context, and you never take it for granted. Be yourself. Be authentic. Try something bold. Try something different. This card is closely connected to your planetary calling. So if you find yourself in a job, relationship, activity, or point in your life where you think, how did I get here? By this point in the year, and you have 6 months and a few days to get there, I would love for you to feel like either you're where you need to be or you're starting to take steps in that direction. And as we've been saying, there's no rush to get to the finish line. We just want to make sure that we're on the right path. We want to make sure that everything feels right, that we're not getting pressure from friends or family or from fears, that we're taking a path that's exactly what we need to have, that gets us close to that illumination, okay? And the Star is amazing. It's one of the best cards you can pull. It's you shining. I think the only thing that could be difficult there is really kind of like a peacock, allowing yourself to be seen and be bold and have good posture and just say, this is me, take it or leave it, okay? Moving from June to July, August, and September. July. This is a month of repair, recovery, and growth, but a lot of it's happening beneath the surface. 7 of Pentacles. We can see all the roots. We don't necessarily see flowers, leaves, vines. All of the magic is happening beneath the surface, almost like tubers. If you've ever grown flowers like begonias or anything even like chives or whatever, where there's these big tubers beneath the earth, it's kind of like that. So it's like you're storing up energy and doing a lot of work internally, and it takes time for that to show up externally. So this is probably your second earthworm, or, what is it that I was talking about? Like a caterpillar that's coming through and absorbing, preparing. So you got your one that came through the month before, but this one's going to blossom a little bit later, maybe a month later, because we have the 2 of Wands. Don't overextend yourself. Because this card was reversed, 7 of Pentacles can represent spending too much, doing too much, thinking too much, anything too much. And you still need to focus on the 6, which is balance, which came right before it. Then you'll get to the 8, which is learning, developing, and producing. But this is a month to do just a little bit less and do it better. Less is not always less. Just do a better job with what you have. And that's the big takeaway here. You have more than enough. Focus on doing the best with what you have in front of you. and then open yourself up to receive more, but don't spend or do more than you have. That's the big lesson here. Let's go from from July to August. Now we're into August. We have the Two of Wands. I saw two of those caterpillars. This is where the next one may start to take shape and form. So Two of Wands. This is a chance for you to imagine something different. So if you haven't already gotten on the path that you want, this is saying, or even if you have, now what's next? Or what else can I do? We should always be in the dreaming mode. She has a map. She has a globe. She's looking out the window. She's in the best possible way, plotting, dreaming, kind of like getting methodical about the next step. Taking a class, doing something artistic, doing something fun, giving yourself time in your schedule to rest, to dream, to imagine. Because if you just do, then you stop. You stop growing. Read a book, watch a movie, go to a museum, whatever it is that expands your horizon to see, consume, and then imagine new things. That's what this month is all about. August is really expansion. It doesn't have to be a lot of doing other than writing it down or signing up for things, okay? Now let's go into September. It's interesting that we have 2 sevens on either side of this. September is a chance to get real. There may be something in front of you that it doesn't pass the sniff test. You're like, this doesn't seem right. Don't do it. Trust your senses, the physical and then the extrasensory perception that you have as well, because extra came through. So we want your ESP to come through, and if it doesn't feel good here or in your bones or in your third eye, trust it. So the reason I didn't move, for those of you that haven't been following the weekly collectives, was I had the intuition. I'm like, because I was looking at a place that was under construction and I wanted to make sure that it was all to code and ready. So I said, can I get the keys the weekend before and look at it? And as I was going through, everything looked good, but then my guides were like, test every window, look really closely at every window. And I found problems on every window, including a safety hazard that made it uninhabitable. And I was like, well, this isn't going to work, is it? And it was a very sloppy, obvious, and clear safety issue where I was like, we have a storm coming. This isn't going to be good. Plus the fact that that happened and no one caught it. I'm glad I had the wherewithal to test everything out. It was the voice, my guides, my higher self coming through saying, you've got to test every window. Don't stop yet. So I went in and tried everything. Listen to those little bits of intuition. They save you in the long run. I had to ask first to get the key, and then I had to not just stay there, but I had to do one more pass. I'm like, that last pass is where I caught something really serious. So listen to every little instinct, particularly the ones that are telling you to do or not to do something. 7 of Swords is something that's hidden. Someone tries to pull the wool over your eyes and not allow you to see something. So if you feel like something in a contract isn't right, something in a living situation isn't right, in a relationship isn't right, this is the month especially to call it out. So again, we're in September. Make sure that you trust your instincts. Okay. This is also you being honest with yourself, with doctors. Like if you need to change something, do it. You can't make a change until you're accountable and you can admit where the lack is or where the problem is. So that's the other push from the universe, is just to be real with yourself. Now we're looking at the final 3 months of 2026, October, November, December, beginning with October. So in the energy of October, we have the 6 of Pentacles. It's in the reverse position, but I don't mind this card because we can see it's give and take. There may just be a little bit more that you need to ask for than to give. And it's a recalibrating month. So if you need something, ask. Know that there's a lot of hands that are outstretched towards you because you're someone that has a lot to offer. So boundaries are important. It can cut both ways. You may need more. There may be people around you that seem to need the sun and the moon. You can't give them everything. So be honest with yourself. That's why honesty was what came through the month before. And then you can find that you'll achieve equilibrium. That's the hope. That's the opportunity here, is to have more than enough, to have balance, and to not feel exhausted. And if you can accomplish that, you're succeeding. Work-life balance is important. Health is important. Mental health as well, and emotional well-being. Bring all of those into balance so that the scales can be even, okay? November, Four of Cups. Beautifully aligned to what we talked about in the general spread. This is a month where there's a hidden blessing. She can't quite see that she's right at the end of the rainbow and there's some gold right there because she's over there focusing on what coulda, shoulda, woulda been, what other people want from her, what other people are doing instead of what she needs to be doing. You do you. And you can also tell people to butt out if they're trying to compare you to someone else. Why can't you be more like Lisa or Ted or your brother or your sister or whatever? Because you're your own person and because it's not fair to put that comparison there. And if people put a conditional requirement on their love, acceptance, or celebration of you, they're not loving you unconditionally. And that is a blessing to know that that's not someone that you need to invest time and energy into. And your answer to that is you should say, because I'm enough. That's what it really hasn't ever happened to me with close people, but I've had it happen with others. And I would just now say, because I'm more than enough. And you know what? This isn't working for me. And I should be enough for you. And if I'm not, that's fine. But I would just say, because I'm enough. Because I don't want to be her, because she's her or he's him. You know, like, you can just put it right back at them. Are you happy? Why can't you be more like this person? It's not fun to feel that, is it? It's not fun to compare someone. It's not fair to the person you're comparing or to the person that's being compared. So it's really, really clear when that happens that it's not enough. So don't compare yourself, by the way. We do it to ourselves all the time. We open up a magazine. We look at our iPad. I'm like, no one really uses print media as much. But you might be looking at a book or looking at a cover on a book. And you're like, why can't I be more like that model or like that actor or like that person? You don't know what's going through their head. They're probably doing the same thing. So let's stop comparing ourselves. Let's just start looking at ourselves and saying, I'm enough. And I'd like to, even though I'm enough, I would love to grow more in this direction and this direction. So I'm going to focus on that. And because I'm focusing on that, I'm in the energy of that. And because I'm in the energy of that, it's going to happen faster. That's a lot more healthy. It's a lot healthier, I should say, than trying to be someone else. That already exists. That cookie cutter's already been put out there. You make your own mold. Okay? No more comparison. So in November, reject comparing yourself to others. Create your own version of yourself. Chase your own dream, not someone else's. Okay? Five of Cups. An interesting way to wrap up the following year. But what we see here with the Five of Cups, it's a choice. So sometimes we have to let go of something. And it can be actually at the end of an accomplished goal. So let's say you just did what you wanted to do. You got married, you graduated, you retired, you bought a home, you sold a home, you traveled the world, whatever it was you were trying to do. And then there's this sense of, well, now I don't have that dream, now what? Or what's next? There's always going to be a next thing. Drink in the moment, and then allow yourself to celebrate what was and say, I can't wait to see what's next. This is another card with hidden meanings. So it's interesting that they're always looking at three in the hidden cards. Like, so the Four of Cups, they're looking at the three in front of them, they're missing the one. In the Five of Cups, they're looking at the three that are spilled, and they're missing the two behind. So mourn what's lost, but there's two cups behind the person. What is two cups but the Two of Cups? There could be new love. There could be something better than what you just went through. But if you focus on, this is it, this is as good as it gets, well, if you say it's as good as it gets, it's as good as it gets. But what if the best is yet to come? What if there's something even better waiting for you? And so we're really working a lot in 2026 on recalibrating, on reprogramming the operating system in our head to imagine something bigger, better, or greater than what we expected. So the extraordinary, the extraterrestrial, the extra piece still maintains and persists through this reading. There's something more than you expect. You know, as I was tuning into, now I'm remembering more of the channeled messages, so I'll bring that up for a second. As I was tuning into dreams this morning, I got the feeling of like a first day of school, a first day of work, a first. And the euphoric and sort of like just butterfly energy, that makes sense. That is in the first, because anything's possible. A first date, first day of school, first day of work. It's a clean slate. Anything can happen. It's fun. You're not constrained or confined. That's why you feel like there's so much at stake, right? So this year, what if this year was like a first date, or a first day at school, or first day at work, or first day of freedom, of retirement, a first day after divorce, whatever it is, it's your first. I'd like you to enter into New Year's, instead of getting drunk on champagne, get drunk on the possibility that something amazing could happen in 2026, where you could get the butterflies, like, oh my God, it's happening. Whatever it is that I've been waiting for, it's happening. It's here. I like that. All right. Briefly, let's look if there's any sort of highlights in the year ahead. So look, excuse me, at the first quarter of the year, the main takeaway in January, February, and March is to set the pace and don't get distracted by emotions, okay? I'm going to give you like very tangible takeaways. So January, February, March. Okay, April, May, and June. By the time June hits, something amazing has happened. There's a slower pace in April, and then it kind of plateaus a bit, but then there's this big like fireworks in June. So don't rush something to completion. It feels like there's something that's really going to be worth the time that you're putting in it in the second quarter of the year. July, August, and September are interesting. July, we see regrowth, recovery, recalibrating here, particularly when it comes to your time, energy, and money. We see that you're looking at the possibilities of what's beyond this current situation. So you might have just accomplished something amazing, and now here in the energy of August, it's like, okay, I want, now what? What? Or maybe this opens you up to a new horizon and you can see things from a new perspective. Then the inner saboteur sets in, and we need to dismiss that, where there's this imposter syndrome. Can you do it? You can do it. The bright cards in the first quarter here, again, it's sort of like innovation, imagination, and setting a new rhythm. And then we see something accomplished in the second quarter. Then we see something newly imagined in the third. And in the fourth quarter, we see this sort of like, when you enter into something new, it sometimes requires like you're getting your bearings here. So this is accomplishing a new balance. And then you have two blessings, maybe a new idea and maybe a new partnership, but they're getting blocked by focusing on the 3 cups, which can be, by the way, what's expected of you from others. Like the 3 of cups can be friends, community, family, but they're gossiping or they're pressuring you or they're trying to get you to do something that you don't want to do. So it's really about staying authentic to you. All the energy of the star. This is the big takeaway in the year ahead. It's kind of like the year of the star. But we have to be able to stay in the frequency of the star because it's at the midpoint. It's at the 6-month point, and it's the strongest card. So let's make 2026 the year of the star. All right. When this goes on replay later, give me time because I'm doing other readings today. I have a doctor's appointment. I'll eventually do timestamps. I love when it's right off, like, where are the timestamps? I'm like, give me a minute. There's only one person here doing all of this today, but I will put timestamps in later. But thank you for the enthusiasm, and you'll be able to kind of like look at all of this throughout the year ahead. Okay. Because you guys were kind enough to give a little bit more, let's take a couple moments to do channeled messages. Okay. So feel free to put some thoughts in chat. I'm not going to be taking questions because that would exhaust me at this point, and I have a lot of other readings that I have to do today and other things too. So put some high-level things that you'd like me to cover, but in the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and see if there's anything today that you need to know and focus on. First, we're going to see like what's the baggage from this past year. That's what I really want to look at. So what's the point that is weighing you down from the year that you just left? Control, themes of control. Why is this coming through? All right, so some of you may be dealing with familial pressure. So we have mother energy coming through and chariot energy, which is trying to get on the right path, trying to take accountability and control of your life, but someone tugging at that. This can be a boss, a sister, a mother, a maternal energy, irrespective of gender, that's coming in and trying to control. And the chariot is all about taking the reins. We have a very nice Sagittarian energy, and we're in the energy of, well, kind of, we're now more in Capricorn, but like it's important to take the reins and say, this is what I want, this is where I want it. And so we just see reclamation of power. One of the blocks right now with this, with reclaiming power, is this fear. Like, okay, well, if I leave the familiar, am I going into the energy of the unknown? Yes, but that can also be very, very fun because this is a sandbox. You can just see this as a blackboard that has been washed, or a clean slate, in other words. And we want to remove the template of family from that and embrace the clean slate and have you be pointing that chariot where it needs to go. So take your time and really ask yourself, what do I need? What do I want? And that will help you get unblocked. And sometimes it is your mom. Sometimes it is your dad. So because the parents came through, even in my own dreams, what can we do for family healing? We're just going to look at the family together. So whether you were raised by your mom, dad, aunt, uncle, sorry, we have the devil card that wanted to pop through here. So I will pull it out, partly because of I have to put these stupid stickies on. But besides that, what is the family message here? Okay, so it's kind of appropriate that the devil energy would come forth here because the devil card is one of control. And the devil the devil always wants its way. And the Three of Wands is it's projecting what it wants for you, and sometimes it's living vicariously through you. So a parental figure could be coming through and saying, particularly when it comes to who you love, what you do, where you live, how you live, who you, like all of the stuff that's kind of just you. It's like, well, I wouldn't do that. And it would, this is the comparison energy too. They want the best. It does come from a place of love, but the love is warped because the Lover's card and the devil are almost identical except for the devil and the angel and the fact that one's in heaven, one's in hell. But it's otherwise the same template with different characters. So we just need to take away the control and put in trust. So what you could say to the parent is, if you love me, trust me. Allow me to make my own good and not so good decisions. And when I want your advice, I'll ask. And I do appreciate and love you, but honestly, this is a moment where I need to make my own choice. And that's what we have here, is a breaking of the old bonds. Usually I had to cover it all up, but there's usually chains. So we're breaking that sort of like umbilical cord and the sort of ties that bind here, and just say, I need to do this for myself. And this is also your higher self speaking through you. They may try to it's interesting that religion came through. Sometimes they might try to push their own religious beliefs or kind of like their own fears on you, but that's conditioning. Religion is a form of conditioning. I'm not saying something that's too out there. I view religion in a much more cosmic way. I think religion is like French, Spanish, English, German, Portuguese. It's just flavors of the same thing. So that's why we have to take, and all of them put together maybe give us 1/10 of what really is out there. It's just our interpretation of the world, which in itself has filters and flaws. So if we could stop taking it so literally, we could all get along a lot more. And if we started looking at all of the similarities in language, customs, and religion, we would just see their different expressions of the same truth, like all of us are expressions of the same energy. So that's too deep of a conversation for New Year's Eve or whatever the next holiday is, but just lean into the trust. Trust me and love me enough to allow me to make my own choices. Thank you very much. And if they can't, create space, boundaries, and make your own choices, because sometimes you have to do that. Okay? All right. So I'm looking here. Cleansing okay, finances. I will look at that. So we're going to look at like abundance and finances. All right. So, what is either blocking or blessing? We don't want to go negative. What's going on with finances? So we actually had, I believe it was exactly the Knight of Wands, right? So rewind the video when we're done and you can look at the month that was corresponding to that. I think it was here. So that would have been July. It would have been August. I have strangely a photographic memory when it comes to where the cards were. I think she was right here between the two sevens. Or no, maybe she was up here. I can't remember. Might have been up here. No, it was in the first quarter. So anyway, wherever she was, I know she was in the middle. It was about keeping the pace. That was right. So set the pace, keep the pace. So when we're looking at your finances, it's going to be really, really important for you to create a budget. It sucks, doesn't it? But create a budget, create a schedule, and stick to it. The other thing with the Knight of Wands here is she is creating. So if you don't see it, create it. And this might be a month where some of the more year where some of the more entrepreneurial ones out there finally decide to go out on your own. Thank you. It was February for those who just said. I knew it was in the middle. So you have time to kind of set things into motion, but because it's February, then it's important for you to kind of like really get things moving faster than normal. Just to make sure that we got the right month. I'm going to go back because I want to make sure that we're correct. So I have the ability to rewind here. Give me a second. I'm going to move backwards and see where it was in the overarching spread. It was February, yes. Okay, so this was in February. It was after the moon. And so we have to get past the emotional energy and we have to really sort of allow ourselves to do what feels right for us. So the energy of February. So how can we get into this creative flow? And what might be blocking us from that? All right, so it has to be fun. How can we get into the flow? Knight of Cups. If it isn't fun, don't do it. And the thing that might be blocking you is someone else's belief or your own belief that it has to happen in a certain way, shape, or form. So stay open-minded and have fun. That's the big takeaway on all of that, okay? All right, and looking at this, just show me where is the financial energy overall for next year. I need another deck here. We saw the star card coming through at the midpoint. I do remember that. So I know by the middle of the year you'll get there. But overall, better or worse? It's based on how you look at it. So the Nine of Swords here is about fear. So how do we overcome the fear with this? We keep getting Five of Cups energy. So I would talk to someone. This is about, remember there was a hidden Two of Cups in here. So talk to a financial expert, talk to a friend, get inspired. And ultimately it might be a foundational year. So the Four of Pentacles can just be like the four corners of a building or a foundation of a building. But it starts off with a little bit more need to be mindful and to be smart. So I do think that the year starts off in a way where you have to be aware of what's there. But one thing that my shamanic friend told me is if you think in the energy of constraints, you don't allow for more abundance to come through. So be smart, but then ask yourself, where is there openings? Where is the opportunity? I'm already in the energy of abundance. Where is the abundance flowing? Rather than putting it in areas where it's blocked, where is it flowing? And that can help you get into the flow of opportunity. Okay? Should you stay or go in your current job or career? You have time here. You don't have to make an immediate decision. The Temperance card shows me that some of you are neither thrilled nor are you you're in the middle. And if that's the case, don't rush. So you can stay it out for a little bit. Again, taking that star card that was coming through towards the middle of the year, I feel like if you're not on track by June, July, that's the time to really make a new decision, okay? Okay, let me see what else is coming through in chat. Okay, for those that are making a new start, let's say you are going somewhere brand new. New job, new place of residence, or just a new chapter in your life. How can you settle into the newness of it? We'll do a 3-card pull for this. So new starts. which comprises a lot of things. Okay, we have 3 reversals for the new start. So the 3 of Pentacles in reverse in the past position is about doing your research and making sure that you're not jumping into something head first. So if you haven't already started it, make sure that you've read up on it, that you've talked to other people that have done it, that you've maybe even taken a trip, as I'm looking at the mountains here. 3 of Pentacles is a card of mastery, though, so it does feel like you're more prepared than you may give yourself credit for. But doing that extra work and research can definitely help you feel better prepared for it. The Hermit card in reverse. I just put them up right so we can look at them a little easier. The Hermit card is coming through also as a card of wisdom, but it's kind of scary to put yourself out there. So maybe take along someone to help you out, to help you come out of your shell. So if it's your first day somewhere doing something, or your first time doing something, like the first day of work, typically you're assigned someone like, hey, you should talk to this person. They'll show you around. And usually begrudgingly, like, well, here's the coffee machine. Why don't we meet up for lunch? Like, we need that first day help. So it feels like it would be good to find someone to kind of hold your hand at the beginning. And it could be a mentor. This can represent a mentor. You're more ready than you might think, but you might need that little bit of coaxing to get there. You've got this, though. We have the card of surviving and persevering, the 9 of Wands here. But as you can see, in this one, it's a staircase. Got to keep taking the steps each day, and it's one step at a time. If you try to jump from the bottom step to the top, you're just going to fall. Just one step at a time. And that's the best advice here is no one's expecting perfection. They're just expecting you to a new job. They just want you to show up on time the first day, not late. Show up again the next day and don't give up. And then get better over time. And if you're doing that, you're better than like 99% of the rest of the people. Because it's perseverance and persistence and then eventually getting to a point where it's like, wow, you've really improved. But if anyone expects perfection on the first day, that is a flashing red light, and that's not the place that you want to be, and it's probably a burnout place too. And if they throw that at you, that there's 100 people waiting for this job, let them have it. Like if your best isn't good enough, then that's what I would say. Then those 100 other people are going to burn out. You'll probably call me again. So why don't you just give me a second chance? I think I'm a little bit more... I'm not afraid, because a lot of times people are just putting nonsense out there. So I would just put it right back at them and say, I'm doing 110%. If that's not good enough, I don't know what is. If you're not giving 100%, that's something. But like, give your best and know that that's enough. That's my advice. We're getting the sassy guides coming through right now. Hopefully it helps, because I wasted too many years and too many tears in a lot of type of work that wasn't rewarding. Lots and lots of, it wasn't just all corporate. Some of it was smaller. Some of it was blue collar. Like I did a lot of different jobs in my life, and a lot of it was thankless. So if you don't have to give too much of your energy to things that aren't kind of fulfilling you. So I've been through a lot of that like you guys are. So I get it. All right. Nobody asked a question, but the guides are speaking up here. So the Ace of Swords came through. There's a couple things with this Ace of Swords. First of all, this is about action. So some of you may even have a question in your mind, which is, can I do it? Yes. The most important thing here is to take action on it. Put it into writing. Put it into motion. And don't overthink. This person has done so much work thinking, they have to start doing some work with the doing. 9 of Swords keeps showing up in different cards and different illustrations. Like, I feel like it's the 3rd time we got this. This 9 of Swords is really interesting because it's a phobia card. What will they think? What will they say? What will I do? What if this happens? What if that happens? All those little eyes are the feelings of the what ifs. Well, what if none of that happens? What if you hit it out of the park? What if it's fine? What if you get some rest tonight? So these are just fears that are buzzing around your ear. We got to get those mosquitoes out of your ear. Don't pay them any mind. Do your homework. Be prepared. But at the end of the day, staying up until 3 in the morning worrying isn't going to help, for sure. What if you just go to sleep and you have a good night's sleep and you're super sharp and have a lot of acuity the next day and it's going to be okay? Focusing on mental, physical, and spiritual strength is your secret sauce. Let me turn down the AC now because it's too cold. Hold on. I feel like we needed a little bit of Apollo's energy there. All right. So that was something that just came through. Let me see what else is popping up in chat. Oh, moving is good. I feel like that was a first, but we can. I like to find a way to kind of make these even more expansive. So, moving in, moving out, moving up, breakthroughs and moving. So here we go. Let's look at breakthrough and moving energy overall. Let's see. Okay. Show me a little bit more about the devil. What's this about? Okay. So, past, present, and future. For those of you that are getting ready to make a move, it feels like it's aligned here. As long as the heart feels good about it. I love that she's actually like playing the heart like an instrument. The heart will lead you in the right direction. If you want to do it, go forth. If you don't, hit the brakes. This is your life. You live it once. You live many lives, but this life you live once. Make it a happy experience, okay? Where are you at right now with this new move, this new expansion? Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Some of you may need some support. This can represent not enough money, not enough time, not enough general resources, or like even a support system in your life, friends and loved ones. So if you need more support, ask. This is also about, this is the universe giving you a little bit of a tough love. So aces are only good as what we do with them. So they're potential and they require follow through. An ace of pentacles is like a seed, like an acorn. It needs to be in the ground, it needs to be watered, and it needs time. So give it time. Whatever this move is, let's say you do it and you land in a new job, in a new living situation, in a new relationship. It takes time for those roots to form, for the growth to happen. Don't judge it on the first day or month, particularly if it's a big shift. Bigger shifts like that take a little bit of time for you to dust off the energy of the old space and the new space and kind of get your bearings. I know when I moved from the East Coast of the US to the West Coast, I wasn't sure for a few months. And it wasn't until like the first year that I knew like I really made the right choice. I stuck around because it was starting to feel better every day, but there was a big part of me thinking, like, what did I just do? So the newness of something can take a while to sit in. The reverse of this is, I remember situations where the very first day I knew it was the worst decision ever. It wasn't like, oh, I hope I did the right thing, or oh, this is a big shift. It was like, oh, I just made the worst mistake that I've made in a long time. And then that just amplified. So pay attention to, is the sinking feeling disappearing or is it growing? Give it a day or give it a week. But if it's the first day and you don't feel good, don't do it. If there's something about this that you know from the get-go isn't enough, don't do it, okay? There's always risk involved with something, but usually the risk is worth it. You're like, I really want to do this and I'm not afraid of that. But if you think to yourself, I really shouldn't do this, full stop, don't. It never gets better than that. It's not like, okay, so if this is an old movie now, but like while you were sleeping, Sandra Bullock falls in love with someone that's in a coma and she ends up like, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, but it's been out for like decades. But she ends up falling in love with someone else than the person that's there, but she ends up marrying. It's this weird, it's almost like a farce, that part of it. But when the guy wakes up, he says, you know, my brother loves you, my father loves you, everyone else loves you, I might as well. That's not love, that's settling. Don't settle. Don't do it just because it looks good on paper or you're trying to convince yourself. If that's happening, it's the wrong move. If you feel good about it and you're just a little nervous and there's some butterflies, that's normal. But if you're trying to convince yourself because everyone tells you it's right, it's not right. So listen to that. You'll know it when you're in it. There's just this feeling of dread that's associated with doing something that you shouldn't do versus a little bit of butterflies around something that you're afraid of failing at. That's a much different experience. So we want the good butterflies, not the dread. That's back to the butterflies. You should be feeling butterflies of anticipation, hope, and not wanting to make a mistake, hoping you're doing the right thing, but feeling like it's the right thing at the same time. Okay? I had to kind of sit on that for a second because we have the devil energy here, and we don't want you talking yourself into something or agreeing to something that doesn't sit with you. So if you're not ready or if you're not sure, don't do it. And if it doesn't feel right, but someone else tells you it's right, don't do it. Do your research. 3 of Pentacles. See what else is out there. There might be something better. I saw 2 caterpillars. One of them may not be your cup of tea, but the other one might be. So make sure you've explored all the options. There's more than one way to accomplish what you're trying to do. And if you're trying to look at a move, maybe a different house, maybe a different city, maybe a different month. Don't push the move until you're ready. If you're already ready, perfect, woohoo. But if you have the doubt, find that second option. It's going to be better for you, okay? Now, moving it out of that, I just had to look at that. Let's say you're easing into something new. I'll just put these up here. Is there one message that can help you thrive in a new environment? Okay, there's 3 that are together here, so we're going to read all 3. Oh, I chose the different deck. That's okay. I'm looking at it from the Oracle deck. Sorry, it was this way. All right, so Spirit wanted me to use a different way of interpreting this. So past, present, future. Okay, so the light field is really about clearing your thoughts and energy and making them as bright as possible. That means that as you're entering into this new thing, you're not bringing the fears and anxieties. You're saying, I can't wait for this new chapter to begin. If you've ever been with someone and they're negative about everything, you know what I'm talking about. Like it's exhausting. It's repulsive, and it pushes away stuff. So you want to enter into this once you've made your mind up and you're sure that it's for you, with this feeling of the sky's the limit. The honeymoon period, that's the light field. Live in the honeymoon period for a while and just say, this is fun, this is good, this is new. And if there's someone around at the new place that's complaining, you don't have to give it too much mind. They may just be in their own energy. You create your own reality right now and create something beautiful. More of the same. This is going to be something that people then see and are drawn to with you. So you're putting yourself in that field of positivity, then that becomes your legacy or your trademark. And you have the chance to stay there for a while, actually. So I feel like this could be a very good move for you. It's important, though, for you to see it through your own lens. Not through the lens of someone that's jaded, not through the lens of someone who wants something for you, but through your own lens. And as long as you're seeing it through that own lens and you're putting a little bit of positivity into it, I feel like you're going to land on your feet. Okay? Okay. All right, I'm going to just go where guided now because I'm not seeing too many other questions. So let me just do a couple of guided thoughts here and then we'll wrap up here shortly. So this is what Spirit wants us to look at. I do want to focus on health. How can you be your healthiest and happiest in the year ahead? The Emperor in reverse. So a couple of thoughts on this one. Some of you may be focusing way too much on work, way too much on helping others, and there is a need here to pull back a little bit and really focus on taking care of yourself. This Emperor has all of his energy. Literally, it's kind of like he's trying to pull the strings for everyone else's life. So with Emperor or Empress energy reverse, it's saying you take care of you. Let people come to you rather than trying to push your influence or your decisions or your energy onto them. Use that energy instead to create something beautiful in your life. Solar plexus is something connected with the Emperor, And then also it's a positive card because it's one of the older cards. So it's just saying that there's longevity to be had, provided that you take good care of yourself. You can break some familial habits as well. So we have the Two of Cups coming through as another clarifying card. There's actually two people. So there's a little bit of a white dress that she has here, but there's an illusion when you look at this. It almost looks like they're attached at the hip, and these two tulips are intertwined. There could be unhealthy boundaries or lack thereof between you and someone else in your life. Could be a friend, could be a family member, could be a loved one. And what we need is breathing room, space. And this is one of the most domineering cards one can pull, particularly when it's reversed. They're basically saying it's my way or the highway. So it's important to have boundaries, trust, and space. And we're looking at relationship energy, so why don't we look at how you can thrive in relationships? All levels of relationships, not just for those that are in it. Okay, so the first message here, it comes around distraction. So the Seven of Cups can be preoccupation. You're looking at a ton of other things. There may not be time and space for those of you that are in relationships. If you're in a relationship, it's important to kind of like carve out space for each other. If you're looking for love, this is your mind going in 100 different directions. So it's asking you, what are you looking for? Either way, slow down, tune in, and tune out some of the noise. That's valuable for everybody in any relationship status, including those that are single and happy. Moving is going to be a pivotal piece to this. So some of you travel and moving. If you're moving to a new place, or if you're traveling for fun, or if you just need to move a project or idea forward, the movement will help bring in relationship energy or will help solidify relationship energy. Also, you might simply, for those of you in an existing one or looking for love, you have to ask if they're ready to move it to the next level, because it looks like stagnation or casual energy isn't really where it's at. So they're either on board or you're going to find someone who's ready to move in the same direction as you. Nine of Pentacles is good, but it's an interesting sort of slow-paced energy. So what I see here is getting clear, moving forward, and it's a slow burn towards the finish line. So it has the capacity. If you're in a relationship, it can go the distance. If you're just getting into one, it can go the distance. If you're single and happy, you can do a lot on your own, but it's going to take some time. If you're retired, same sort of energy here. It's just like a lot of slow burn energy, but the thing that can take you off the path here is, what do you want? And are you in alignment with the people that surround you? Because if they're not in the same page as you, then that's going to be a little bit challenging. It's specifically for those looking for love. Let me see if there's a single card that wants to come through for those seeking love. Yes, could be Aquarius energy. We had that as a time marker right at the center of the year. So not right now, but soon, and a really worthwhile energy coming forth around the middle of the year. And if you're in a relationship already, again, with the energy of travel and moving, you might be deciding to sell a house, move. There might be something new in your life that requires more movement, or you might be deciding to move the relationship further. Okay. And if you're single or you're widowed, we're really just focusing on general happiness and health. Okay. And now we're going to wrap up because we've been doing this for a minute. I'd like you to focus. We'll do a meditation first, and then I'll do one final card at the end. All right. So for the meditation, okay, we're going to do a few things here. I'd like you to close your eyes. Imagine that you're watching the sun set on the previous year. We're going to stick around until the sun rises too for the next year. But watching the sun set, imagine that you could beam your heart center towards the sun, or the sun is connecting to your heart, however you can feel that connection, and open up your heart and release the stuff that was heavy. Let it go. Imagine that there's a beautiful line that's going across this river, lake, or pond between you and the sun, and it's allowing all of these little thoughts to travel, almost like the Six of Swords. You could send it out in the Six of Swords boat. It could be an enormous boat. It doesn't have to be that little rowboat. All the stuff you don't want, the trauma, the drama, the fears, the disappointment, the anger, the resentment, the lessons, the heaviness. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, imagine that exhalation is the wind in the sails on the Six of Swords. Keep breathing, keep sighing, keep distancing yourself from that stuff. Let's also put some blessings. The sun doesn't need all of that heaviness, but it is absorbing it because the sun can absorb all of that. Now let's put the blessings. Thank you, universe, for the love, the support, the health, the awareness, the friendship, all the little blessings that you've had this year that have helped you stay afloat. Now let's take another breath and put more energy behind the sails of the Six of Swords. And we're balancing it out so the ship isn't lopsided with all of the heavy energy. We're putting some blessings there so it's even. And we're saying, thank you also for all of these. I appreciate the blessings. I release all of the blocks, all of the heaviness. And I do so with a clear heart and a clear mind. And an understanding that in the year ahead, I don't really need or want pain as a teacher, rejection as a form of protection. It's welcome to come through when necessary, but it doesn't have to be the sole teacher or guidance. Instead, joy, happiness, fulfillment, opportunity, exhilaration. You put all of your other adjectives that you'd like in there. I welcome these as joyful teachers in the year ahead, in 2026. Imagine that you are Janus and a day or a night has passed and now you can see on the other side the sun rising. As the sun rises, I want you to set a couple of intentions. These are your own. I'm not going to guide you here. At least one. What's one thing that you'd like to see? If you can think of another, put another wish out there. And let's kind of go for three here, the Three of Wands, because the Three of Wands are three ships on the horizon. See the ships coming towards you, one representing each of your dreams. You don't have to actually do anything other than hold space. It is a passive card, the Three of Wands. You're just ready to receive. Trust that knowing that these are things that you're looking for is enough to bring them in your energy, and that they're going to show up exactly when they need to in the year ahead. And that if they don't show up on January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, that doesn't mean that Spirit didn't hear you. It means that you have 360 some odd days for it to happen, depending on when you are starting to get impatient. There's still time, okay? All right. Gently open your eyes. And I'd like you to put your final question out into the universe, whatever it is that you still need some questions or guidance for the year ahead. And let's see what Spirit has to say. We get both a time marker and a very positive card. Eight of Wands is a yes. The Eight of Wands is in reverse, so it's saying things are already in motion. Typically, these are rockets going through the sky. 8 days, 8 weeks, 8 months. Pay attention to the eights in the year ahead. This is where the power is. But the Eight of Wands is also about fluid motion and momentum. So once you set things into motion, they have a way of sort of continuing on their own. So all you need to do is get it started. Like an old car that takes a couple of revs and then it's okay. Might take a couple of moments to get it started, but then the engine will be all right, folks, okay? Let's give Apollo a pat on the head. I can hear him behind me. Hey, bud. You're being so patient and so good in the background. Thank you very much. Everyone is grateful. Yes, they are. Thank you, buddy. All right. I want to say thank you for showing up today. Happy New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, or whatever month you might be tuning into, because this might be something that you come back to several months later to get some guidance from. So welcome back for those that are watching in the middle of the year or at the end of the year. I'd like to take a couple moments now to say thanks to those that showed up specifically on New Year's Eve when this aired. Wouldn't be here without your love and support. For those that gave back a little bit more and made the expanded version possible, I'd also like to say thanks. I'm going to take a couple moments for all of the members that were gifted a membership, celebrated an anniversary, gave a sticker, and I'll do my best to go through the list. It's a pretty big one today, so thank you. All right, we'll start off at the beginning here. Surrounded by a couple of X's here. Jean, I think it is, or Jeannie, thank you very much for your contribution and for being a member. Same thing to Raven. Thanks for the sticker and the membership. Much appreciated. Same thing for Miriam Elizabeth. Thank you for being a member and the sticker. Blue Butterfly, thank you for the membership and the sticker. Heather W., always good to see you here. Thank you for the sticker and the membership. Lynn Champ, I think it is. Thank you for your sticker and membership. A little message here from Ashwin. Thank you as well. I'm glad that I've been able to bring you some guidance in this year. Right back at you. I hope your wishes come true also. Thanks to Darius Vea, I think it is, for sending a membership to someone else and for being a longtime member. I appreciate and I see you. Colette, thank you for your sticker and for your membership. Shelly, for your sticker and membership. And the following just for stickers, Karen and Sinister Days, thank you for showing up and for the stickers. PJ Good, who always helps us get to our goals, thank you for your sticker and membership. Regina, good to see you, friend. Thank you so much for showing up and for a very generous and much appreciated contribution there, triple 11s there. Thank you. And for being the #1 contributor today. Thank you for your guidance. Well, thank you for your presence, I should say, and I'm glad that the guidance was helpful. And I hope you reach all your goals and dreams in the new year as well. PJ, right there as I knew you would be, thank you for helping us reach the goal today 3 times in a row. DASSAISAKHA, thank you so much for your sticker and contribution. Lorna, thank you for gifting a membership. Rose, and for being a member yourself with a bunch of points on that, so I know that you've been there for a few years. Thank you. Rose Moore, thank you so much for your sticker. Same thing with Kieran or Sharon, I appreciate you. Thanks for being #3 contributor as well. QZ422, thank you for being a member and for your sticker. Yolanda, thanks for the sticker. Amithaba, good to see you today. Thanks for the sticker and membership. Vava0812, thanks for your sticker. Welcome to the people that got memberships from me today. I hope you enjoy it. We'll be doing some new things. By the way, while I remember, I should have done this earlier. If you haven't already become a newsletter subscriber, I'm going to put my newsletter link up here. I'd love for you to become a member of my newsletter because in the new year, I plan on launching some things, and I'll kind of keep it vague for now, but possibly some coursework, etc. And it would be good to have a way to kind of put it out there quicker for some of you. So feel free to become a member of the newsletter as well. Okay, so back to the list here. Colette, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Same thing for Laura. Both of you are members. I appreciate it. And Elizabeth, welcome back. Good to see you. K&X420, thank you for your for becoming a new member. I see the little hands. You're brand new. Jeannie Wilshire, thank you so much for being a channel member. Popcorn, thanks for your sticker today. Good to see you here. Michelle, Heather, thank you. Happy New Year's to you as well. 1 more month and it will be 5 years. Get out of town. That is an amazing milestone. That's a long time for all of us. So thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it. Let's see. Mama Can, I think it is, 213. Thanks for joining as a member. I see the hand, so it's your first time here. And Walk, thank you for another sticker. Helen, thank you for your sticker. MP Leisman, I think it is. Thank you for your sticker. And I think I got everybody. If I missed anyone, I will see it when I do the timestamps later. Thank you for showing up. I wish you all a very happy new year. And remember to take it a day at a time, to lean into your authenticity. And I will be back here on Sunday for our live stream. We got a bonus one this week because of the new year. I'm working on finishing up all the monthlies. They should be done by the end of the week. I want to get them out as quickly as possible in January before people start asking where they are. And of course, I'm here every day for daily messages. From my heart to yours, I wish you a very happy and safe holiday, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.